Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Michigan Speedway here tonight, where we are going to get things underway with the OCRP iRacing League. And at my side will be the one, the only, the cowboy, Mr. Joe Cortez, going to be joining us here in the booth. I am getting over being sick myself, but how are things for you, Joe?
You know what? I was recently on a plane, as many of everyone knows, and getting in some shenanigans in the Florida sun, and I think I picked up something on the plane, but hopefully I'm not going to be departing Michigan International Speedway with extra baggage tonight. Let's put it that way. Big race tonight in terms of stature, in terms of racing. Lots of fun to be had at this big giant 2-mile D oval. 80 laps around this behemoth, and what we're hearing from the drivers so far, Jeff, nobody wants to be out front. Crazy thing to hear at a race. Nobody wants to be out front. But these guys are worried about how the aerodynamics are going to affect them leading the race, especially with everyone behind them. If they have to lead a train, they're going to be doing a lot of rearview mirror driving, because that train's going to come out in a quick, and if they have a draft, the lead could go away very quickly, and that lead driver could be scrambling to get back in that line.
And we're at a track of a length of 2 miles around this massive track. And track temperature right now, 125. It is pretty cool out, about 75 degrees, but the track itself is 125, which a lot of these guys really wanted that. If you're in clean air and you have a car that's glued to the track, well, you want to have a little bit of wiggle room, and they wanted more temperature. They were talking about, we want a warmer track to get around, because what's going on is anybody that's behind another car in traffic, they're going to have to be dealing with that, and it makes the cars very, very loose. So 125 degrees on the surface of that track is definitely going to make it to where that is the case. Air temperature right now, 75 degrees, wind about 3 miles per hour, just out of the north there. 1% humidity. Man, I only wish it was like that in real life, but a pretty dry day here in Michigan.
Pretty dry day. Great for the engines. You're going to see these guys drive the heck out of these machines. A couple of names you're going to want to watch tonight. R.J. Williams in the Sunoco machine. And back in week 3, he won at this track's twin brother out in Fontana, California at Auto Club Speedway. With RJ knowing how to run the track, with knowing how to make this big giant D oval work for him, he might be a contender you want to watch out for. Another contender, Josh Jones. He won back on November 7th at Daytona International Speedway. Now, I know you're going to tell me this is not a traditional super speedway, and you're right. It's not, but it's gigantic. It's got a lot of room, and draft is everything. If Josh Jones can figure out how to make this draft work for him, if he can get in line and get working with people, he might be a threat to win his second race this season.
And with the new package, and we talked about that the entire season, about how much it has changed the racing and iRacing. Well, nothing out of the ordinary here from what I saw in practice and what I've been hearing from the other drivers. It seems like you're still going to be dealing with a tight race car if you're out front and you don't have any traffic in front of you to help loosen that car up. And we all know how that feels. If you've been around Michigan before, you know that on a longer run, you're going to start tightening up, and then you start plowing through those corners. It creates a situation where you're giving it too much wheel, and then it snaps back at you. And we've seen a lot of self-spins in practice off of turns 2 and 4 because of that reason. Now, you may not see a lot of cars getting down to the yellow line in the corners. They're going to get down and get those left tires right on that tar line that runs just to the outside of that line. That seems to be where everybody's kind of running right now. Anything below there is a little slick down there, Joe. So I think any of the incidents we're going to see tonight is definitely going to be off of turn 2.
I think you're absolutely right, because that is a really weird transition. Coming off turns 3 and 4, you can carry the throttle a little bit because you have that extra give going into the D shape, the big tri-oval out front. On the back, you don't have that, so you have to be careful. You have to throttle it just right, and you have to carry it incorrectly. Otherwise, you're absolutely right. It's going to plow on you. You're going to snap back. You're going to go around. And next thing you know, you're in the pit garage looking for one of those 3 free resets that you get, quick repairs, as they're called. You get 3 every race. And I guarantee you they do not want to burn one before lap 40. Speaking of guys to watch, Scott Barkman, fastest out on practice here, 40.084 seconds, his quickest time out here. RJ Williams, again, the guy who won on this track's identical twin, he's his fastest time, 40.098, puts him in second. Civ Ryan Stewart has the third fastest time. Jeremy Birch, don't call him Andrew, I learned that one the hard way, he's in fourth. And Tony Wilson running at your top five. So a lot of great drivers, a lot of talent up front, Jeff. Who are you watching to win this race?
I'm definitely watching Scott Barkman. This is a driver that has been very, very fast in the last few weeks up before the break. And if anybody wants a win, it's definitely Scott. He's been patient. He's been waiting. He needs to be there at the right time. They unloaded today, and they have speed. And that's what you want when you come to Michigan is speed. So it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. Who wants to get out front? Who wants the clean air and wants to battle a tighter car rather than being in traffic? And then waiting until you need to be in the front spot where it counts, which is kind of strange. And we saw some drivers earlier talking about possibly not qualifying. And I poked some fun at them and said, hey, I think that there should be some penalties handed out if you are purposely trying not to qualify, so you start in the back, so you're back there where it counts. However, it's kind of funny to say that whenever you're a driver that is so good that they're almost guaranteeing they're going to get the pole. Watching Tony Wilson getting around the track right now in that Krusty Krab Chevy Camaro. And you're going to see some drivers putting that left-hand side of the car down below the white line on the front stretch. That's perfectly legal here at a track like this. You can drive on the apron on the front stretch. However, you don't really want to do that because it does tear up your tires. Let's talk a little bit about tires before we get to fuel. And that is, I don't see it being a real problem other than you're going to have to manage your tires so you're not the last car plowing into the wall off the corner. Now, when it comes to fuel, these guys can do this tonight in 2 stops. It's no longer going to be about 1 stop. You're looking at anywhere from between 30 and 35 laps before these guys are going to have to come down pit road and get the fuel, but it's not to the point where they're going to be able to stretch it to 40 where they could only do it on 1 stop since there's only 80 laps here tonight.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Is because this track is so wide and it's so big, you cannot make it on 1 lap alone or 1 stop alone. But I also got a feeling we're going to see quite a few caution flags. I'm not predicting anything. Don't call me for jinxing this race. But I do believe because turn 2 is so hard to get off of, and because draft is going to be everything, I've got a feeling we're going to see some guys get the air taken off them. I feel like coming out of that draft is going to be really difficult. If you come out the wrong way, all that wind resistance in front of you is going to be like hitting a brick wall, and some guys are not going to know how to react to that. So, Jeff, I do believe we're going to see a couple of caution flags tonight, and because of that, I think that will shake up the entire pit strategy. Do not be surprised if these guys go down 3 or 4 times just because they can.
That's why I said if you're going to come down pit road tonight under caution, expect to come down pit road about 15 times rather than only having to make it on 2 stops. Now, with that said, this has been kind of a crapshoot when it comes to how these cars race with this package. Sometimes we've expected to see more of a super speedway style of racing, utilizing the draft as much as possible. But the last few races we saw, the cars really started to get away from each other. I'm not sure if that was part of one of iRacing's updates that updated something there, but they are able to get away from each other. It doesn't seem like they're on top of each other as much as we saw earlier in the season. So not sure if they changed something up there with the tire model. I'm guessing that was the case, or it could just be a setup deal. But I really don't know what to expect from Michigan here tonight. I don't know if we're going to see guys that are going to be frustrated because they can't get away from that other car, or we're going to see a breakaway of 3 or 4 cars.
The last time we talked iRacing, we talked in the OCRP League, was December 19th, 2019. Feels like a long time ago. Chicagoland Speedway, Wes Graham picked up his 2nd win in under an hour, 58 minutes from start to finish. We were done with that race. I don't think that's going to happen tonight because this track, again, it's just so gigantic. And it is difficult, especially coming off turn 2, to re-pick up that speed, to re-able to pick up to where you were, trying to fight it so it doesn't drift up, so it doesn't start plowing on you. and fighting the car to get back into the groove. But here's what I think is going to happen. I think that we're going to see the draft become really seriously into play. We're going to see people trying to kind of bargain with each other. You help me, I'll help you. And I think that the only way to get in front of somebody tonight is going to be getting someone behind you, getting that push, and then hoping they don't want the favor returned when it's your turn to lead the race.
And we're watching right here. That was Josh Jones that smacked the wall coming off of turn 2. This is something we're going to see a lot tonight. When you're dealing with a tight car like that and you're pushing and pushing and pushing to the limit, you're going to put that car on the right side into the wall. And we saw exactly what happened there. It's a self-spin. However, he was able to gather it up pretty well, and he did it the correct way. He kind of held the brakes and turned it, not trying to save the car so much. At these speeds, saving a car can be an absolute problem.
Saving these cars can be an absolute problem. It's now John Borst is doing donuts down on pit road for apparently no reason whatsoever. I guess just trying to burn out the rest of a practice time, as it were. No, it's tonight's race is really going to be a clinic on handling and how these drivers can handle these cars and how they can work these cars around to win this race. Tonight's race is definitely going to be a clinic in driving skill and driving ability and understanding how that car feels. Now, we know normally we don't talk about tires to be a big deal on these giant speedways, but here I think it will be, because especially on those bank turns, you're going to be abusing them a little harder because you can. That being said, I do think tires will come into play in this race, and when they do, when you start seeing them lose grip, if they either don't check up or they check up poorly, you're going to see guys go in the wall, you're going to see a lot of self-spins, and that's what's going to bring out your cautions. I'm calling it now, Jeff. Get your popcorn, get your beverage, because we're going to be here for a little bit.
I think you're absolutely right. We're looking at the speeds that we just saw, and, well, didn't get it in there in time. Sorry for that. But we had quite a few drivers that we were talking about there showing speed, and one being Scott Barkman tonight. RJ, don't count him out. He's definitely one to watch. We've only got 5 minutes of qualifying here, about 4 minutes and 40 seconds left of it. And it'll go by really, really quick. We're going to see who ends up where. Like we talked about, guys don't want to be in the front in the beginning of this race. It's something kind of strange about how the cars have been handling. They want to have more drivability by being in traffic. You would think that would be the absolute opposite, but that's not what I heard in the garage.
No, I agree. I think these guys are definitely going to want to be very cautious and very meticulous, very careful about how they approach every part of this, from where they qualify to how they qualify and where they end up in position. Again, normally you want to be up front, but as we've seen all night tonight, Jeff, nobody wants to be there for some reason, and I can't imagine why. It couldn't be because the draft is so big, or it couldn't be because that car just glues to the track when you're leading the pack. I can't imagine what one of those factors, Jeff, would make someone not want to be in first.
It's going to be interesting to see if anybody's going to be trying any games out on pit road by giving up that lead position to somebody. We've seen that kind of stuff happen before in the past, where you get out of your pit box and you slow down purposely, let the other guy get in front of you for track position. Those things kind of happen at tracks like Martinsville, but things are kind of strange when it comes to that. I was not expecting to hear from the drivers that they were having so much difficulty driving by themselves in clean air. That you would think it would be the opposite, but that is not the case tonight. And I know those of you that watch racing are like, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, because that doesn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me as well, but talking to the drivers, it seems to be that is indeed the case. And I can't say anything because I have not spent any time in the car this year with this new package. Now, I might do that for the next race or two. I might actually go out there, drive it, so I can give you a little bit more feedback of what they're experiencing. But it's going to be an interesting one tonight. It's either these cars are going to drive like a big pack, or we're going to see a 3-car breakaway, 4-car breakaway, what have you, and the faster guys are going to be able to rise to the top.
And I agree with you, Jeff. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that everyone's going to be dependent on that draft because of just how gigantic this track is from start to finish. When we went racing, when you saw us on December 19th, we were racing a cookie cutter track, effectively, 1.5 miles that you could get away on, that you could break away and start, and really assert your lead out there and make those green flag pit stops. Here, you don't have that liberty. Here, you definitely need someone to help you keep that momentum forward. Because when they do fall in line, if they have no one behind them, again, that air is going to hit them like a big brick wall. It's just going to stop them in their tracks, and they're going to start going backwards. So tonight, look for drivers to bargain. Look for everyone to be on their best behavior for the first 75 laps. And then when those last 5 laps to go, when you start seeing the flags waving in the air, that's when hell is really going to break loose.
Well, only 1 minute and 30 seconds remain in qualifying. We're going to be gridding very soon and going to green flag racing. But, Joe, right now, who is showing at the top of the poll?
A surprise driver driving the number 11 FedEx Camry is Jason Kent. He's going to qualify number 1, it looks like, 40.601 seconds. Robert Keller is second, 40.686 seconds. Wes Graham and Scott Parkman will make up row 2. My guy, RJ Williams, who I'm predicting to win this race, he's going to start all the way back in 6th. Is that a strategy move, Jeff?
This is absolutely strategy. You're seeing guys that are purposely sandbagging it around the track because they don't want to be on the pole position. They don't want to be out in the clean air. It's very strange, but we talked about drivers wanting to do something like this, saying, hey, I don't want to qualify. Hey, maybe I won't qualify so good. Maybe I'll pull the throttle back a little bit on the straightaway. These are things you normally don't see. However, tonight, everything is kind of up in the air and has been reversed on us. This is a total different style of racing than we're normally used to seeing. We're going to see drivers that we don't normally see up front fighting for those top positions. Now, the question is, what happens with the tire fall off versus whatever, stretch we do get of green flag racing tonight? Maybe track position will actually matter, and it might hurt these drivers that are sandbagging.
What you're going to see is a lot of different strategies all working together at the same time, and everyone kind of clashing with one another to make their strategy work and make them be able to hold on to their race and have a hold on how they want to run their race.
Now,
so
I have a problem with that. Now, see, I have a problem with that because you may take this strategy move and you may start behind, but you're going to have guys that are inexperienced in front of you. You get tangled up in a crash, that's on you. You're all the way to the back. I don't understand why these guys are doing it other than the car handling that bad.
Jeff, it doesn't matter. Here's something you have to remember. It doesn't matter what lap you win the race on. If you lead 79 laps and don't win, you're out. That's it. If you lead 1 lap and win the race, you're the winner. So these guys are going to do everything they can to protect their strategy and preserve their cars, whatever they have to do, and I'm okay with that. Race your race. Make it happen. Just entertain us at the same time. Don't sandbag for the sake of sandbagging. Give us a good race, and we'll put on a good show, and that's all I ask of these drivers.
And I think that's exactly what we're going to see tonight. But changing everything up, shaking it up, going to have drivers that aren't normally out front, and that makes a difference because of the amount of experience that is behind the wheel out front. You may get a little nervous next to a guy that you're not normally used to being nervous next to, and that can create a disaster, especially on lap 1, especially in turn 1, when everybody's getting really, 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 really close together, getting off of turn 2.
Your lack of faith in the drivers disappoints me, Jeff, as has been said before. Like I said, I think you're going to see a very entertaining race. I think you're going to see a lot of draft and play, and I think you see a lot of guys actually being on their best behavior. We've seen races that are wreckfest. We've seen races that are everyone's aggressive driving. We've seen races that have had a whole spur of caution flags because everybody wants to be number 1 and no one wants to give each other a little space. I think, again, Jeff, because everyone's running so many different strategies at the same time, you're going to see the absolute opposite. You're going to see drivers on their best behavior, working very hard, knowing that they don't want to have to burn a quick repair, because if they do, they could go down easily a lap by no volition of their own. So you're going to, I predict it right now. I'm calling it now. You're going to see a good race. You're going to see a lot of clean driving. You're going to see a lot of strategies in play, and the one who manages all of those factors the best will rise to the top and win the race. RJ Williams has already proven that experience, and I think he can do it again tonight in Michigan.
All right, let's take it to the grid. We've got on row 1, starting out front, your pole position. That's the 11 car of Jason Kent. Outside of him is RJ Williams in the 21 car. In row number 2, you got Robert Keller in the 4 machine. Then Wes Graham, the one to watch tonight here starting fourth. In row 3, you got Scott Barkman and John R. Borst after finally getting that win that he needed after it taking so long. Row 4, you got Alex Reno in the 22, one to watch as well tonight, and Jeremy Birch in the 23 in that Coors Light Camry. Row number 5, Tony C. Wilson, and outside of him, he's got Aaron Beaver in the 97 car. Row number 6, Jonathan Bunch. Not a driver that's normally around here, but he has returned once again. And then outside in 12th is in the 12th car of Ryan Stewart, Civ Ryan. Row 7 to Jeff Coburn and Josh Jones. And that rounds out your grid. Getting ready to go. Green flag racing here at Michigan. Let's get it done. Waiting for that pace car, Joe.
80 laps to remain here at Michigan International Speedway, and we are under the control of Jason Kent and RJ Williams. Pace car in the garage. They've hit the Geico restart zone. We are green flag racing and in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Williams, Kent, side by side going into turn number 1.
John Borst waiting no time. A little different colors there for that car in the 86 outside of Wes Graham, looking to the outside of him. Possibly going to go 3 wide here with Robert Keller in the 11. Gets into the 86. This is what we talked about. Inexperience out front. Getting into a driver that gambled on the pit. There it is, or on the pit, on the qualifying lap. And there it is. Jason falling like a rock right now. But out front is the 21 of Williams and the 88 of Graham.
No surprises up front as Williams and Graham will line up front nose to tail to turn officially lap number 1. No caution flag out yet as we have a lot of cars involved in that one. Alex Reno down on pit road, getting attention from his crew. Jason Kent, despite the damage, he will remain on the track. Other drivers involved, Josh Jones in the pink Busch car. Jeremy Birch was involved in that one, and that's the Coors Light throwback. And I believe John Borst was also involved in that one. He is well off the pace. He's going to have to go down pit road and get a quick repair on that car.
Yeah, John Borst, making that sandbag move to drop back, and there he is right there at the wrong place at the wrong time. It looked like Kent just got a little out of control in that 3-wide situation there. Got into the 86, put him into the outside wall, and now the 86 is going to have to make a green flag pit stop, which is really going to hurt him.
A lot of drivers are going to have to make green flag pit stops after that. I'm looking at the replay, Jeff, and it just looks like the 11, I don't know if it's lack of experience or maybe something went wrong with his steering wheel, but something happened to that car, and it caused it to just go straight right into the wall, collect Borst, collect Birch, collect Josh Jones, and now our first caution flag's out.
And the caution does fly here at Michigan, and wow. What an interesting start to this race. But this is exactly what I told you was going to happen. You had guys that were making this gamble, and now they're going to hurt from it. Like, I just didn't understand why they wouldn't go for it. Wouldn't you think, being out front, you're the safest, right?
You would think, but I think just getting in that bid traffic, getting quagmired with other people, and having the air thrown around you, Jeff, I simply think that all caused him to panic. And again, I don't know. We're just going off what we see in the video, but I'm pretty sure that it caused him to panic. It caused him to underdrive the car a little bit, and that's what got him to plowing straight right into the wall. And now he's got 4 other drivers to answer to. And I guarantee you right now, Jason Kent is not a popular man on the track.
Yeah, and it looked like it was just a matter of being in a 3-wide situation. You can't place blame there too much when you're in the middle. And you have guys that are being impatient. You have somebody that sees a 3-wide position or situation happening. It takes 3 drivers to make 3-wide happen. Anybody can jump out of the gas and just give them the position. That did not happen, and looks like the 11 still has quite a bit of damage on the nose of that Camry. He's going to bring it back down pit road.
Josh Jones going to come down pit road this time by John Borst. I think he's got the quick repair, so he is good. Everyone's going down pit road this time around. Wes Graham, who was scored as your leader last time around, he will come down pit road. RJ Williams as well. Scott Barkman, Tony Wilson, Robert Keller, all coming to the attention of their crew. And Jeff, I guarantee you, they're looking for the same thing: at least 2 tires and a top off on fuel. So maybe, just maybe, they can make it on 1, maybe 1.5 more stops.
I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but I don't think it's the last time we see the yellow flag. Wes Graham having a nice stop there. He's going to get off first, and it looks like Scott Barkman's going to take second, and third will go to R.J. Williams on the race off of pit road right now. And we'll see if that was exactly the case. Looks like it was. Then you have Keller, Stewart, Beaver, Coburn, O'Neill, and then Kent coming out in 10th right there off of those pit stops. So things have definitely been shaken up a little bit. We're having some graphical issues, but I'll let you take it right now for a second, Joe.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that as you figure out the graphical issues, as it were. Jeremy Birch and Alexander Reno electing to stay out on the track after getting the quick repair. Wes Graham, they're, I believe, both one lap down. Alexander Reno being credited one lap down. So I believe it should be... It should still be Wes Graham's lead, but we'll see what happens. R.J. Williams should be scored in second. Scott Barkman third. Tony Wilson in the Krusty Krab machine fourth. And running out the top five is Robert Keller in the Ford machine, switching from the Lego My Ego car to, I believe, what is that, the Cobb Seed? No, that's the Smart Food Ford Mustang out there. So, Jeff, I think, going back to what you said earlier, I think you're right. This is not the first caution flag we're going to see. This is not the second caution flag we're going to see. This is going to be one of, I believe, many different caution flags we're going to see tonight. And I do believe it's going to be just because of the tire strategy. I think a lot of guys, everyone who was down on pit road last time by took 4 tires. Very smart move. But restarting on cold tires, it's going to be a lot more careful. And going through, figuring out how to run these tires so they don't fail you when you sign up for that next pit stop, that's going to be on everybody's mind. How do we manage it? How do we do it? And I guarantee you, someone's going to overdrive it. This is not a knock on their skill, mind you. But someone's going to overdrive it. Someone's going to get aggressive, try to put the hammer down, and next thing you know, they're going to be in the wall, and we're going to have another caution flag.
Yeah, and I'm watching the scoring loops right now, having some issues possibly with our timing screen. I'm refreshing that, but it's showing everybody on the lead lap right now. I'm not really sure how that is the case, but
I'm showing everyone on the lead lap too, actually.
Okay, then perhaps
we broke the scoring loop, Jeff.
I think so. That or everybody just did such a stellar job on that stop there. But yeah, I don't think that's the case because Jeremy right now is out. He should be a lap down at least, and he'll be getting a wave around here on the pace car. We're waiting to see if that is going to be the case, but iRacing giving us some problems with the scoring loops tonight because I would say the same would be for the 22 of Reno.
My theory on that, and this is purely a theory, when Jason Kent went into the wall in turn 2, he must have knocked something in the wall that manages a scoring loop. And next thing you know, here we are trying to figure out who's going where. I believe Jerry Birch, Alex Reno, will get the wave around when we go back. Yep, they did get the wave around that time by. And because they were out on the lead lap, I believe that will put them back on the lead lap. So we will have all 15 drivers back on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing. What I'm going to watch here is what R.J. Williams does. He started second. He stayed in second. Is he going to try to get around Wes this time by? Or is he just going to let him go around and try to see if he hangs himself the same way Jason Kent did on lap 1?
It will be interesting to see, but the lights are off of the pace car. We're going to be green flag racing next time by, waiting for Jeremy Birch and Alex Reno to get around back to the back of the pack so they can restart the race. But still having some issues with scoring loops. We're going to try to reset those, and maybe things will make more sense to us. And that seems to be the case. Resetting all the scoring loops shows Wes Graham going to be starting back in first, R.J. Williams second, third to Scott, Tony Wilson in fourth, and Robert Kellert's one driver to watch. We don't talk a whole lot about Kellert, but Kellert's having a stellar run so far tonight at Michigan.
That he is, and he's definitely going to be someone you want to keep an eye on. That Krusty Krab Camaro could be the difference, could make all the difference here. Pace car will make the slight left turn down pit road, and Wes Graham, for the first time tonight, will be in control of the field of 15. They hit the Geico restart zone, and as always, Graham holds off till the last second, and they are side by side going into turn number 1 for position number 1. Graham on the outside, and R.J. Williams are on the outside.
Everybody's just got to survive turns 1 and 2 on these restarts. It's a little crazy, and it's a little loose down there the lower you get to that yellow line. Everybody seems to make it off of 2, no problem, and now everybody fights for position, and it looks like the draft is going to be king as the 76 of Wilson is there to help the 21.
As I predicted, draft is going to be a major part of this race, but unfortunately, Wes Graham has the short way around in turns 3 and 4, able to hold the throttle off the turn. He will remain your leader. Now, Williams is a very difficult choice. Does he try to sneak into the low lane, or does he try to go high by himself? And if he does, will anybody join him? In turns 1 and 2, Williams still hung out high.
Watching that 19 car of Scott Barkman trying to make a decision if he wants to get down on the inside of the 88. He instead backed out, and he jumps back to the top, and he has help from the 21 there. So it looked like the 21 tried to do a side draft on the 88, was stuck on the outside by himself. Barkman saw that, dropped up. Maybe he wants to help him out.
I think what he wants to do is preserve his position a little bit there as Graham continues to lead. Barkman second, Williams third, and those 3 cars, they have a draft of their own. They are down and away. Robert Kellard was just trying to manage both lines right now. Back in position number 4, car number 4, trying to hold off Aaron Beaver and Tony Wilson, the 97 and 76 respectively. Someone's got to tell him, hey, working both lines doesn't work. As Beaver, now the Coyote's going to make a quick move and score the Coyote car in position number 4.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Ryan Stewart around. Going to try to find out what happened there. He got wildly loose. Yellow flag flies once again here. We're going to find out what happened with that car as we back it up for you here on the replay. And we'll find out. It looked like it was just a huge jumbled mess back there. You've got the 97 of Beaver. You got the 76 of Wilson. You got Ryan Stewart and the 91 of Coburn all back there fighting for position. Looks like Stewart just got into the wall by himself. Shroots it, puts it into a spin, up into Josh Jones, and around he goes. Nowhere to go. Nice job by Jeremy Birch avoiding that and all the guys in the back there. But, wow, that definitely is not something that Ryan wanted to happen. But I was watching the 4 of Keller. Keller got really slow there on off of turn 2, and I don't know if that ended up bobbling everybody up.
Looking back at that replay, I guarantee you that's exactly what bobbled everyone up. Ryan Stewart in that bumbler muffler machine just couldn't figure it out. It just plowed tight on him. He didn't get out of the accelerator in time, and that's what forced him into the wall. When you have a slow car in a fast car lane, it doesn't work out, and that's why the 12, as you said very appropriately, shrewded it, sent it to the beat farm, and now he's only got 2 more quick repairs remaining.
Wes Graham in the 88 Camaro bringing everybody down pit road, and it's going to come down to this. This is what we talked about. You know, this is a sort of race that you can make it in 2 stops, but we're going to probably see it in 15 tonight if the yellow flags continue the way they have been going. Only 2 cautions so far for 6 laps, 1 lead change, and everything rides on Wes Graham right now to get back out there. But does he really want to do that? Does he want to come out in first? Does he want to come out in second? We talked about how clean air versus dirty air. Dirty air is a better position for you, believe it or not.
Coming off pit road, a couple guys trying to Tokyo drift it off pit road. RJ Williams gets off first, doing it basically a slide job off pit road. And if you look back, the 19 did the exact same thing, spun the tires hard, and he was down and away. So we will have a change up front. RJ Williams should be scored as your leader. Scott Parkman second, and now Wes Graham for the second time tonight. He will be starting behind your leaders. Interesting how the dynamics have changed on pit road.
Speaking of dynamics, the weather has changed here at Michigan a little bit. One thing about iRacing, we're dealing with sim racing. However, this is a dynamic track. We have clouds moving in and out over the top of the track, and it looks like the back stretch is actually on under cloud cover right now. But here on the front stretch in turns 3 and 4, the sun is out. That makes a difference in the track temperature, and we'll see a difference there on this restart.
That will make a big difference. As this track cools down, the grip will get tighter, and these guys will have to change their racing style entirely, especially as the cloud cover only covers part of the track. If that part cools down, They'll have better grip out there, but it will get a little tighter. They want this track to be hotter. They want this track to be a little loose. If you can control the car and figure out how to run multiple lanes, you're going to have a really fun race. But if it cools down, if it tightens up, it's not going to be as pleasant. Let's put it that way. And Ryan proved that earlier. The number 11 driver, Jason Kent, proved that earlier. And this is a track where you have to run it hot and you have to run it loose, and you just have to have a good time. Otherwise, you are going to be fighting a tight car all night, and these guys already have their steering ratios locked in. They can't mess with that no more. And so what they've got now, they got to try to live with for the rest of the race, and it's not looking so good on lap 13.
One driver I'm watching is Josh Jones in that 3 car that got caught up in that accident with the 12. What an interesting-looking car. This is a millennial car that we saw Kevin Harvick drive a while back in the real world. But here in sim racing, it is brought to you in all its glory. I don't know, you a fan of that one, Joe? It's completely pink, yeet on the side, avocado. I mean,
I almost went to the Lionel store and bought one of those diecasts because I'm a huge fan of the millennial car. I'm also a huge fan of the 80s car and the Harvick beer car. I love what Busch has done with their paint schemes all year. I love the creativity they brought to the racetrack. And frankly, I'm curious to what they will do in 2020. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we're looking to see how everything shook out after that pit stop, because we had scoring loop issues all night. We're not able to get proper pit road results for you. Sorry about that, but we're looking at our results right now, and RJ Williams is in the lead position. Second is Scott Barkman. Third to Graham. Fourth is Beaver. Fifth, Coburn. Sixth, Keller. Seventh, Borst. Eighth, Wilson. Ninth to O'Neill. And 10th is in that 3 millennial car of Josh Jones. Behind them, well, if it'll give us the graphic, we have it. There's Jeremy Burch in 11th. 12th is Stewart. We saw just shrewded it off of turn number 2. 13th is your pole winner this evening at the 11 car of Jason Kent. 14th to John Bunch. And rounding out in the 15th position and last is Reno in the 22. The Reno camp has got to get something together here for this restart.
I'm not worried about Reno getting together on this restart. I think he's playing the long game. What I'm more curious about is what is Wes Graham going to do and Aaron Beaver going to do. Aaron Beaver had that really great pass coming off of going on the backstretch before where the yellow flag came out, and I think he's got something to challenge these leaders with. The question is, where's he going to go on the restart? Who's he going to follow, and which lane is going to be the best for him? If he can figure that out, he might be a contender.
Well, the lights are off on the pace car, and everybody is cleaning their tires off behind them. The control car is the 21 of RJ Williams. He's hanging back a little bit as the 19's out front. Got to be careful there and make sure that the 19 doesn't get a jump early and get a green flag is in the air once again here in Michigan.
RJ Williams back in the lead, feeling very comfortable, I'm sure, in that Ray-Bestis Ford Mustang. He's going to have some company with him as Wes Graham continues to run. Side by side, the 88, the 19. The 19 of Barkman knows he can't hold it up there by himself. He's trying to get behind the 88 on the backstretch.
Watching everyone behind them 2x2, trying to get around turn number 2, and that was John Borst got a little squirrely around the 4 car of Kellert. But out front, it's 3 cars battling for position for the lead, actually. And watch the 88. He's got help on the bottom with the 97.
88 starting to drift, trying to force the 97 off his bumper, trying to get to position number 3 for himself. It kind of works, as now the 97 crowds the 91 of Jeff Coburn. Second in points is not going to stand for this as they go back 2x2 into turns number 1 and 2.
All the way back there is the 91 of Coburn, and here comes Borst on the outside trying to get around. He does have the draft of the 97 of Beaver, and he has help behind him of Kellert and Wilson. It looks like the 91's going to drop back into line. Nope, he's going to go to the bottom and go with Borst.
Borst and Coburn trying to figure out this draft, see if they can make it work by himself. They've got the short way around the track. The problem is the drivers in front have that draft, and they're trying to muscle their way into it. Beaver, no way under. He's going to have to try to get behind the 86 of John Borst. He will be successful this time by score Borst 1 position forward.
It's starting to get a little crazy up front between the top three of RJ Williams, of Barkman, and Graham. They all were getting a little crazy there, and everybody seems like they're trying to just stick in a single file line right now, but the racing is happening back there in the middle of the track. That's Jeff Coburn in the 91 battling the 76 of Wilson.
Well, you know what they say, Jeff. We're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy, and I think that craziness is starting to wear on everybody's nerves. We're almost a quarter of the way done with this race, and these guys are being racy all the way around. I'm still watching your leader, RJ Williams, forced to block Wes the Mess up high, but that could open the door for Scott Barkman in the 19.
And the 19 of Barkman's there on the inside. He's able to get to the bottom of the track and try to get through turns 1 and 2 on the 21. He has no help at the bottom. And at the top, you've got Graham pushing on the 21.
Graham pushing on the 21, trying to force him to make a move, trying to get him to where he is back up front, because he knows that's the easiest ticket. That's the easiest way for him to get up front and get back moving and controlling this field. It's not going to happen this time by. The 88 will have to wait patiently, hoping someone gives him a hand to get back in front of the field.
Riding on board with Scott Barkman, watching how he's getting through turn 1 and 2 here. We're going to listen to the sound of the throttle as it looks like he just flat-footed all the way around there, and he is going to be able to charge to the inside of the 21, getting down into 3.
The 21, the 19, the 88, all still up there. The 21 did get that gigantic push from the 88 from Wes Graham, and that will put him back in the lead. Now the question is, what is the 21 of RJ Williams going to do? Is he going to work with Wes to try to stay up front, or is Wes going to cut him off?
What a move by the 88 of Graham. That was an aggressive move, but that is how you take the lead here in Michigan, and he will do that no problem. He just sucked right up to the back bumper of the 21. He had a run, and he dropped right down in front, had the push of the 19.
Had a beautiful push from the 19. Now the 21 looking for the crossover. This time around, no one to push, no one to give Wes Graham the help. RJ Williams, he said, I've done this before. I want to do it again. Goes down low, may have the lead. It depends what happens on this drag race down the front stretch.
And what an incredible drive that was. We were riding on board with the 21. He did not, that was Barkman. They are not lifting getting into 1 and 2. Everybody is completely flat-footing it if you're out front. Look at Jones. He's got a little bit of an issue back there in the back. Almost a 3-wide position happening there with Birch and Stewart.
2 by 2, your leaders remain in a box formation down the backstretch into turn number 3. 86 of Boris thinks about going loose. He's not going to cut out of the group. He's going to stay in that box formation. Aaron Beaver now working with Jeff Coburn, trying to make the group of 4 into a group of 7 with Tony Wilson. Can they do it? Not this time around, but they're working on it. They want to get back to the lead.
Watching that 21 just muscling his way past the 88, nearly almost making some contact with him. And this is something I love to watch with the 21 car. RJ Williams does not back down to any of these drivers out front. He doesn't mind making a little contact, saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give you the whole track. I am here, and I'm going to take it from you.
That's absolutely right. This is a track. What makes this track fun is that you can beat and bang a little bit. When you're on the front stretch, when you're on the back stretch, you can absolutely beat and bang and go door to door and drive it like it's a Saturday night shootout. These guys know that. They're having fun now that the car setup has come to them underneath them. Now that they've gotten this comfortable, they're going to really start showing off what they can do, as it's 3 wide now for the lead.
3 wide for the lead out front. We were riding along board with the 97 of Beaver, and you could see he jumped out of the throttle, said, you know what, here, guys, figure this one out, because it is getting crazy out front. We got 4 cars. We got Graham. We got Williams. We got Barkman up there in the front. And it's all a matter of the draft and who's utilizing it better, who's working with each other to get around here, because every single lap we have seen a change between the gap.
Oh, we have seen a lot of changes between the gaps, as once again RJ Williams comes off strong. I believe he will be still scored as your leader that time by, but I think it's a fragile lead as Wes Graham is getting help from Barkman, Boris, Beaver, and company. Now the line's going to split. Boris is going to go low, and it looks like Scott Barkman's going to go high, back to that box formation, and Aaron Beaver not getting any help from Jeff Coburn. I think he burned that bridge when he took 4th.
He absolutely did. Everybody racing down into turns 3 and 4 here. And it's interesting to see the leaders starting to make a change, starting to drive the middle of the track more than the bottom.
Absolutely. Now these tires are getting a little worn. Now they've got some heat on these tires. They can choose their lane. They can drive where they are comfortable. And if they have people driving behind them, pushing those cars even further, that's where they want to be. They don't want to be on their own, because if they stay on their own, they're gonna drop back in a hurry, and they're not gonna be able to take advantage of that draft, of that freight train that cuts straight through. RJ Williams is doing a great job of it, because he is side drafting with Wes Graham, but with Wes Graham having so many other cars behind him, I'm counting now 2 others as John Borst looks to go low again. I'm counting 2 others that want to get around him and take away this lead. Can they do it, though? Do they have the horsepower to do it?
And we're watching the 21. He's utilizing the draft so well. He's watching where everybody's going. He's keeping the draft in a certain spot. That's the reason why he's able to maintain the lead from the 88 of Graham. And we're watching how Borst is getting around the track right now on board, and we're watching what speeds these guys are running as they get down to the corner. You're seeing he's out in clean air. He's doing about 178. Now he gets into the pack. He's about 182, 183. You're seeing a huge difference in speed just based off of that. So the question we had earlier about, well, is the draft going to matter in this race? Absolutely it will.
Is it too early to say I told you so? Because I predicted that one, Jeff.
You know what? It's not too early to say that, and I'm fine with that, because I was right about the inexperienced drivers being out front causing the first caution.
All right,
so
I'll give you
we're
that.
Even.
I will give you that. You can have that one, as experience really works his way up front. The 97 now gets around. 4 cars involved.
Barkman.
Around Aaron Beaver. The yellow flag is out, and it looks like Beaver will have the worst of it.
And Barkman involved in that. That's a tough break for that driver, as he was really doing well. And we're going to try to figure out what exactly happened here.
Jeff, you were actually in the middle of explaining it as it happened. I think there's a little bit of inexperience. Same turn number 2, the one we warned everyone about at the beginning of the race. I think the 97 was not ready for it to plow tight the way it did, and that just caught him to get hooked on the bumper of the 86 of John Borst. Collect Barkman with him. 3 cars now need another quick repair down on pit road. They are running out of those in a hurry, and we're not even halfway through yet.
Not even halfway through there, and that is a tough break for John Borst. He's in 3rd right now, but he's going to have damage on that car. We're going to watch his onboard actually and see what happened, see what he saw during that whole incident there as we back it up. Here we go. We're watching right now on board. This is a replay. This isn't live right now. You're seeing the 97 of Beaver running the inside. This is a 3-wide deal. Gets a little tight, goes right up into him. Nowhere to go. But Borst is able to keep it in the center of the track, and he will find his way no problem. Looks like we're going to be getting some yellow flag pit stops up here now, Joe.
Hey, free pit stop, free opportunity for gas and fuel. Absolutely take it. It's going to be RJ Williams coming down. He will lead down Wes Graham, John Borst, Jeff Coburn, Ryan Stewart, Tony Wilson, Josh Jones, Eric O'Neill. They're going to lead all of them down pit road. And I guess, again, everyone's going for the same exact thing. 4 tires, full tank of fuel. If you're going to give me fresh tires, I'm going to take them every single time. RJ Williams pulls up into pit box number 2. It should be a 4-tire stop. Yep, right sides go up. Wes Graham has right sides up. Aaron Beaver will do a drive-through as he just came down for his quick repair. And now the 4 of Robert Keller. He overshoots his stop. He's gonna have to back up 3 times before he can get service. That's gonna hurt him big time. Off pit road, RJ Williams, Wes Graham, Jeff Coburn, your top 3.
And what an incredible stop by RJ Williams there to get it done. And I'm not sure if it was one of those things where you want to get out in front or you don't. Who knows? We're not really sure at this point, to be honest, what a lot of these drivers are thinking and what they're doing when it comes to their strategies of, of avoiding the clean air instead of wanting clean air.
I think right now it's a matter of who am I going to work with in the draft. We've had 3 caution flags. We've had time for everyone to start figuring out, all right, who's going to work with me, who's not, who can I trust to help me moving forward. RJ Williams has proven to be a very trustworthy drivers so far. He's been very happy to work with anybody who will keep him up front. Wes Graham, as we see, he's always racing for himself. He's always racing for his position and to win the race. And that's not a bad thing. He's a very aggressive driver, and he's got a lot of opportunity out there. But I think that will hurt him later on in the race as you see Jeff Coburn, Siv Ryan, Ryan Stewart, John Borst, Eric O'Neill behind them. I think that he's going to lose a lot of friends during this process, and as a result of that, he may not get the push towards the end of the race.
We're looking at the race summary here. We are completing 29 laps there. It'll be 30 when we come back around again, but 50 we're about at the we're getting closer to the halfway point tonight, 40 laps, but 51 to go. Only 2 lead changes so far that we've seen, 3 cautions so far, and probably more to come. But one driver that really made out well on this whole deal was the 12 of Stewart. He's going to be restarting in 4th after being the right place at the right time after his earlier incident of shooting it and putting it into the wall.
He didn't have to park it on the beet farm entirely, just the one chassis. He's still got 2 more to burn if he has to. And he's always a fan favorite out there. No matter what colors Ryan Stewart is running, be it the 24/7, be it the Miffler Diffler car, he's always got something. He's always got the fan support behind him. He's always got people rooting for him. And, if he does win tonight, it couldn't go to a better guy. That being said, I still have R.J. Williams at the top of my card because he's got the experience. He knows how to make it work here. He can win it.
R.J. Williams in that brightly colored Ray Bestos car out front. What a great-looking Ford Mustang that is. But we're watching and waiting for the 97 of Beaver to get around the pace car on his wave around. Beaver being one of those drivers that was caught up in an accident in the last incident, was what brought out the yellow flag, and he will get his wave around there. And this comes down to the fast repair, and this is where we tell everybody there is a thing called a fast repair. And Joe, explain exactly what that is.
So the fast repair, it's not something unusual to racing video games, but in the situation we're talking about is a little bit unusual. Everyone has agreed that at the beginning of every race, you get to basically get a brand new car out of the garage 3 times. So if you're involved in an accident, if you're involved in a self-spin, if something bad happens to your car, you lose an engine, it's all right. You go down to pit road, you press the quick repair button, and all of a sudden, brand new car underneath you. The problem is you only get 3 of them. So if you're involved in 3 accidents, on that 4th time, you have to race what you got. You don't have a choice. So I think everyone's being a little cautious, a little smart about how to use them tonight, because they don't want to be stuck on this race with a race car that is not competitive whatsoever.
And that's the reason why I made it such a big deal in the very beginning of this race about, the change of somebody sandbagging it, not wanting to give it all that they had and get caught up in an early accident, because that is one of those fast repairs that you don't want to use. And we're getting to the point where the season's starting to wind down, and when it winds down, well, then you're out of time. It's all down to the points. So pace car coming down now. We're going to be going green flag racing here.
We'll talk points at the next yellow flag because it's coming. R.J. Williams now in control of the field for the 2nd time tonight. Hits the Geico restart zone, and he will sandbag as well. Waits till the very end of it, and they are down and away. Williams in front, Wes the Mess in 2nd. Advantage so far to R.J. Williams.
R.J. Williams had a great restart there, and it looks like Ryan Stewart is not going to waste any time. He's going to get to the back bumper of that 88 and try to pull around the 91 of Coburn.
Down on the back stretch, Williams stays in position number 1, and now Wes Graham's going to try his luck in the waters, see if he can get around the 21 this time around. He does have the short way around the track. The question is, does he have the horsepower? He does. He will take away position number 1 from R.J. Williams.
And it looks like the 88 got down there, got around him. Now RJ's going to do what RJ did last time. He has help to do it. 91 of Coburn gives him a great push. He's back to the inside of the 88, and he's going to take it back away.
Not only that, but as I predicted earlier, he's got some friends with him. Coburn will stay low. Wes is going to stay high. Ryan Stewart stays high. Tony Wilson stays high. It's now a drag race side by side with Williams having the advantaged lane going into 3 and 4.
And this is something that's really good when you have a driver like Stewart up there. Right now, he's just riding there. He's watching and seeing, what is the 21 doing differently than I'm doing? What are these other guys doing? How are they utilizing the draft? How did he make such a great pass on the 88 after it looked like the 88 just left him standing still? These are all things you're watching from experienced drivers out front, and you have guys that are less experienced watching behind and learning.
Civronian's going to dig down low in his number 12 machine. Can he do something to catch up to the back bumper of the Raybestos Ford Mustang that belongs to R.J. Williams? Not yet. He just did not have anyone to support him, so he's going to be stuck in position number 4. The side draft, meanwhile, is strong between Graham and Williams. No changes there, but I know Graham is frustrated right now because he knows he can get that position. He also knows that nobody wants to help him get there.
Nobody does, but it looks like the 88 of Graham is just going to kind of ride behind the bumper of the 21 right now. Interesting, they are coming down on to the apron of the track. Again, that's perfectly legal. You can do that. You don't want to be below the yellow line here in the corner. That'll just get you in an accident, but a white line on the front like that, yes, they can drop below it. They can advance position. They're just utilizing all the track there.
Once again, Wes Graham looking for the crossover to the advantage lane. That could be the opening that Ryan Stewart has been looking for. He's going to try to dig hard, try to see if he can catch up with the 88. Graham will take away the lead, so that leaves R.J. Williams with one option. Is he going to try to crossover, or is he going to try to get his lap back the hard way?
It looks like he is going to try the hard. Whoa, what a move by the 21.
Crossover.
Wow. Almost got into the back bumper of the 88. This is the kind of racing we've learned to expect from the 21, and he is really not showing any course of taking it easy here tonight.
Well, what's fun about what's going on here, what's fun about this situation is you have two very aggressive drivers, two drivers who are experienced, who are hungry, who want to win this race. And when you have that much brain trust between Williams and Graham in front, you know crazy things are going to happen, and it's not even halfway through yet, kids.
We're watching back there. We got a nice race happening between 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's Jeremy Birch there in the 23. Course Light Camry trying to get around the 3 of Jones there, and Robert Keller to the inside. But a lot of great racing all over this track right now, and that is a product of this package.
2 by 2, they continue down the back stretch into turns 3 and 4. Now Wes Graham is getting some help. Jeff Coburn, second in points. He's going to try to give him a boost because Tony Wilson's going to try to go along for the ride. And look who's in the mix as well. The Yeet car, the Pink Bush car, the Bush AF car. He wants to join in and get in on these shenanigans as well.
We're looking at the rear bumper of the 12 of Stewart. We're hearing that sound. That is him changing up the way he's driving around this track. He's giving a little bit each at a time to these other drivers. That's when it comes down to racing. You know, give and take is a huge thing here. But if you're sitting here flat-footing around the corner and you're not confident you can make it all the way around without pushing, that's a good race car driver, honestly. I mean, you don't want to be bombing it in there and pushing up into another driver. We've seen that tonight.
No, and I think what he's doing right now is you listen to him adjust the throttle, as you listen to him be careful, coming off turn 4, going into turn 2, caution flag out. I'll come to my thought, back to the thought in a minute, as we have cars flipping in the infield.
Wow, and it looks like the 23 of Birch is involved. A lot of damage to the front of that Camry. We're going to back things up and see exactly what happened. But not a good thing when you have a car upside down.
The car you're going to watch is the 4 of Robert Keller. I believe he's the one who started this, just got tight off of turn number 4, gets into the 19 of Scott Barkman, and that's what punts him, gives him going for a ride down the front stretch here at Michigan.
And we were just talking about how that commitment to the throttle, it looked like it was just a misjudgment by the 4 of Keller. It goes up in the 19, 23 sends him for a ride. He hangs on, and there's the roll. He gets about a half a roll. And then he'll land back over on his feet and hang on to it there in the inside. But wow, what an incredible ride that was for that driver. We're going to back it up again and see this in real time at a different angle. But that was a product of that kind of racing we saw earlier with this group of guys. They were all back there just racing really hard, and that is a product of these speeds you see here. But it looks like he'll be able to bring it down pit road and get a fast repair himself. And all will be well.
Well, Robert Keller also, he's got a great car. He knows he's got a good car. He knows he's got one that can be competitive. He had a great qualifying session. So I think right there, what you saw was just him trying to be aggressive, trying to run with the pack and try to stay, for lack of a better term, relevant in this group. He knows he can do it. The problem is what can he do to make sure that he can actually race competitively with some very fast cars.
And the race off pit road begins with the 88 of Graham. No contest. He gets off first, and second is going to be Ryan Stewart. That changes things up a little bit here. Oh, we got a car in the grass getting out of pit road. That is the 23 of Birch. I might have missed one driver, and that might have been RJ Williams. But it looks like he scored. We're going to figure out what happened here. I don't know what's going on with the 23, having some issues there, getting off the pit road. He might have gotten spun.
No, I think he just spun cold tires. I mean, you can do that. That's the thing.
He just gets a little squirrely there. I just couldn't get it back underway. And that's the 23 of Jeremy Birch having some issues getting off a pit road. And that is, like you said, that's what happens when you have cold tires. And it's nothing new. I've done that. We've all done stupid stuff in iRacing, but I've definitely spun my tires getting off a pit road.
If I'm a gambling man, which I am, I'm going to bet Andrew had something to do with it. I thought we fired him. I thought he fired him by now, but I guess Andrew's still on the pit crew.
I guess so. But, it looks like that was the case. Sorry about having some issues. What I'm seeing on my scoring loops and my timing screens, very different than what we're seeing on the track tonight. I'm not sure why that's happening. I keep refreshing it. It seems to just be having some problems. But that doesn't matter. The 12 of Stewart had a fantastic stop there. He will be starting in the number 2 position. But right now, out front is scored first is Jason Kent in that 11 car. But I think he is just waiting to get around, or did he stay out?
I believe he is waiting to get around. I believe he is trying to get his lap back and try to, right now I'm seeing him scored as leader.
I'm looking at my scoring board, and it's not showing him a lap down. The only car on the track right now a lap down is the 23 of, is the 55 of Jonathan Bunch. I thought that was Jeremy Birch. They had a very, very similar look there on the screen, but everybody else is on the lead lap.
Well, Jeff, like Woodstock, I guess it's just going to be a free concert from now on because we can't seem to get everything working quite right. But nonetheless, I'm interested to see Jason Kent try to get his web redemption here. I'm wondering if he can hold on. Knowing he's got Wes Graham, Ryan Stewart, and RJ Williams behind him, and that heavy foot damage on the nose end of that car, I think he's just trying to pick up a couple extra points at this point. He's trying to get his point back for leading the first lap, which he was unable to complete. So, good on him for getting the points. I hope it works out for him, but I do not think he's going to hold on the lead for very long.
Well, one thing about Kent is that he is a respectable race car driver, period, when it comes to sim racing. We do know that. So I think we'll see him move out of the line. He knows that those guys behind him don't have damage. He just wants to do the best he can to get a better position. But I don't think he has any intentions on screwing up this restart at all. With that said, we saw what happened at the beginning of this race, and it just comes down to inexperience. Kent is one of the less experienced guys in the iRacing circuit, and we know these Cup cars are not easy to get a handle of. And he's tried all the different cars moving up through the series of the OCRP league, but these cars there's a lot to them when it comes to the feel of these things, especially when you're running 2-3 wide with other drivers. So I don't think he's out there to make a problem of this restart, but we're back under cloudy skies on the backstretch, and that might have something to do with this restart.
Oh, I think it's going to have everything to do with this restart. With those cloudy skies and those track temperatures dropping, these guys are going to have to change their strategy just a little bit. The good news is they all have fresh tires underneath them. That's exactly what they want to see. The bad news is, because of that, they're going to get some great runs, which could create trouble, especially coming off the turns. We know turn 2 is a big problem area for this race. The question is, will it be the same in turn 4? I've got a feeling that could be an issue, especially as this track cools down and this cloud cover haze makes this track a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah, we're looking right now at track info, and track has cooled down to 121 degrees. That is quite a bit of a jump than what we saw before at the start of this race at 127. But out here in the front, here goes the green flag. It is flying. Here comes the 88, the 21, and the 86 of Boris. Here comes the 21, 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide, and the race is really only between 2 drivers, the 21 and the 88. The 21 of RJ Williams wastes no time. He will get up front. He will take away the lead, leaving Wes Graham just to watch him do it. Jason Kent, nowhere to go. He's stuck in the middle, and he's holding up 2 lanes now as they try to go around him the hard way.
And what an incredible job that was by RJ Williams. Always interesting to watch race here, but dropping it down right there at the line, waiting to get past the start-finish line before he made his final move, and that was splitting the middle. But the 86 of Boris has got a huge run on the 88.
He's got the 86 pushing him, or the 86 of John Boris pushing the 88 of Wes Graham, arguably the 2 hottest drivers in this entire league, now contending with a guy who's won at this track before. The business is about to pick up if you're tracking this at home.
What a nice move that was by the 86 of Borst. And the 23 of Birch is going around. We're going to see if that brings out the caution flag. It will. Self-spin. A lot of damage to the front of that Camry. As he's going to bring it down pit road. Probably get another fast repair done here. We're going to find out what happened with the 23. It looks like the 3 of Jones might have been involved in that one as well.
Jones looks like he's involved in a separate incident. Let's go back as I go back through the tape. The 3 and the 11, Josh Jones getting caught up with the 11 of Jason Kent. Just not enough real estate for both those drivers to occupy. The 3 kind of hip checks the 11. The 11 comes back by accident back into the 3, and that will both those cars go spinning. That will bring out the caution flag once again on the track, slowing down what was some really hot runs up front.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy was able to get the car woed up enough to where it's not too much damage to the front, but that will definitely be requiring a fast repair. Let's talk about the track conditions. Wow, have they changed quite a bit. The entire track now is under cloud cover, and visibility has dropped quite a bit. Not to mention that the track is falling in temperature. This is changing up the way the racing is going to go the rest of this race.
It absolutely is changing everything. It's absolutely changing everything. We know for a fact that this track loves tires. This track is great for tires, and the colder it gets, the better these cars and these tires will perform on this track. So the good news is they're going to get a lot more grip as everyone comes down for a brand new set of Goodyear Eagles underneath them. The bad news is that new grip amounts to a good amount of speed, and as we've seen before, if you take it too hot off turn 2 or turn 4, you will plow upright, you will plow into the wall, and potentially you can plow into everybody else that's down there, and that could hurt your chances at winning this race.
Well, everybody is down on pit road, and they are getting tires right now. We're going to see who gets off the first position and is going to get that advantage. Well, is it an advantage? Not really. We've seen things kind of go back and forth. This has been an interesting race, Joe. I don't know exactly what to expect, but here they all come off of pit road. Looks like RJ Williams with a blitzering stop. Second is going to be, looks like Borst, and then on back from there, you got Coburn and Graham involved.
What I think happens now, what you're going to see at this point, is a lot of drivers simply working to improve their position and get experience on this track. And as we look at John Borst running second, he is running the green and black Pro car. That stands for Pretend Racing Online. It's an open league for all of you in chat who are talking about getting some experience behind the wheel, hopefully working your way up into OCRP racing one day. He's going to be starting a league starting in March that's open for drivers. You can check out his league in iRacing at bit.ly/pro racing league, bit.ly/pro racing league. First race is in March, and if you're looking for somewhere to get that experience, to get that wheel time, so you can work your way up and potentially be on TV here at the OCRP iRacing League, that is a great place to start.
Absolutely, and one thing about Borst is he's a very open book. He has no problem. He likes to help other drivers when they're first moving up through the ranks here in iRacing, and he has a lot of knowledge that he can spread to anybody that's involved in an open league like that. He just wants to have fun and race. The dude is a hardcore sim racer when it comes to iRacing and anything he gets involved with. So definitely one of those leagues that you can cut your teeth on, and I can't think of a better one than that. One thing interesting about this particular car's paint scheme is when I look at it on TV, when it goes by on the left-hand side, it almost looks like where the logos are laying, it kind of looks like the net's laying down on the left side of the car.
A little bit, yeah. And you also got. I'm also going to give a shout to those chrome numbers, the chrome 86 that he's running on all sides. That's a really, really nice look. If we can give awards for sharp-looking cars, I think this would definitely be a podium winner. Obviously, you got to give the Busch Heat car number 1. And then there's that beautiful Ray Bestis car in position number 3 right now, driven by R.J. Williams. But for John Borst having an original run like that, that's pretty sharp. I like that.
Well, one thing we haven't been talking about here is the top 2 drivers of Ryan Stewart and Jeff Coburn decided to stay out. They are going to be restarting this race in first and second.
And it's an interesting move, as everyone else behind them, Jeff, has a full set of brand new sticker tires underneath them and a full tank of fuel. Ryan Stewart and Jeff Coburn are the first ones to try it off-cycle. They have warmer tires, albeit scuffed tires underneath them, so they may not be as quick on the restart. If they can run the draft, hope this cooler track works in their favor, and hold on to lead, it could be a brilliant move. But I am really concerned to see what the newer tires behind them can do when we go back to Green Flag Racing in one more lap.
It is, and before we go back to Green Flag Racing, as the lights are off on the pace car, we're looking and seeing who the top 10 is right now. You've got Stewart starting out in first, going to be trying to hold off the second place of Jeff Coburn. You got Williams in third, fourth to Borst, fifth to Graham, sixth is Alex Reno, seventh Eric O'Neill, eighth Wilson, ninth is Barkman, and rounding out the top 10 is Aaron Beaver in the 97.
Running out the rest of your field, Jason Kemp, the 11 machine, in position number 11. Robert Kellert in 12th. Jeremy Birch in 13th. Joshua Jones and Jonathan Bunch, 5 laps down, rounding out your field for tonight. Interesting move, as it looks like Ryan Stewart wants to start on the high line. Jeff Coburn will be Quagmire down low. Interesting to see what Ryan thinks he can do. Maybe he thinks he can get a better run on the outside, or maybe he's made a deal with John Borst back there to give him the push and get him moving in that 12th car to get him back to position number 1. We'll have to see how everything plays out when we get ready to go Green Flag Racing.
And the sun has peeked its way back out from behind the clouds, and it is warming the track up once again. And the 12 car of Stewart's going to be your control on this restart. The 86 of Borst right up next to him, ready to go. Waiting and waiting and waiting for that green flag. The green flag in the air, and the 12 spins the tires and backs up the whole back. And the 76 of Wilson is all the way around. The caution is going to fly. Wow. That's what happens when you're on older tires. And you're restarting the race.
That's what happens when we're all on older tires, is Robert Kellert will bring out that caution flag. No, actually, check that. He's going to be brought down by, it looks like, the 76, the Krabby Patty machine, who just didn't restart, and the 97 of Aaron Beaver runs him over. 3 cars involved in that caution flag, and the biggest beneficiary of that, arguably, is Jeff Coburn, who now takes the lead from Ryan Stewart. R.J. Williams might also pick up position as well.
Well, we're watching what happened there, and it's very easy to see that the problem was all coming from the 12 car of Stewart. Spinning the tires on the top line, that checked up the 86 of Borst and Graham. The 76 had to check out, but what happened was the 97 never got the message. He restarted the race, went right in the back end of the 76, and he was around, and everybody gets collected after that because there's just nowhere to go whenever something like that happens.
So I'm really curious. Here's what I'm curious about. Was it that he spun his tires, or was he in the wrong gear, or was it the older tires? I'm not sure which of the things created that chain effect situation you saw back there, but we do know one thing now. You can't be the only one on older tires at this racetrack. It just simply doesn't work. You will get run over by everybody behind you.
Yep, and that was a valuable lesson that the 12 of Stewart definitely learned. Restarting the race like that, being the control car on older tires. And we can see, I mean, just look at the front of that 12 car. It is just completely caked in marbles and all sorts of dirt. So it's definitely no wonder that maybe he didn't clean them up or what happened there, but he wasn't able to get it going at all.
Didn't get it going, so I will expect him to come down pit road along with his compatriot, the 91 of Jeff Coburn, John Borst, also coming down pit road, Wes Graham. I think this is a habit you're going to see, basically. Everyone who can take tires will take tires, although maybe not. We have a lot of guys staying out off the track. Wes Graham, Scott Barkman, John Borst, Jeff Coburn, all down the attention of their crews. Everybody else not taking it so far.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it like this. The last stop we just had, so there's no reason to really come down pit road. No one really raced their tires they just got. You know, you're looking at guys that stayed out, sure, but I'm not sure why they came down pit road. They just had service on their car, unless they wanted to make an adjustment, which you cannot do with a fixed setup as it is. So I'm not really sure about that. Maybe they were really worried about a heat cycle to that degree, but the 12 of Stewart staying out again.
The 12 of Stewart will stay out again. He will be joined by your current leader, R.J. Williams. Ryan Stewart will be scored position number 2. Tony Wilson, the Krabby Patty Camaro, position number 3. And Aviator Alex Reno in the 22, his aviation-themed Ford Mustang, will stay position number 4. And this is going to be interesting. Oh, check that. We will have Tony Wilson debating going down pit road. Or
Wilson is a lap down because he got caught up in that accident on that restart. He came down, he got a fast repair on his car, and he was back out there. So he's going to give up all those positions and get back out onto the lead lap.
I'm glad one of our scoring systems is working.
It looks like he's doing an EOL right now, which I'm not really sure why that's happening. But right now it's showing Kellert in the 4, Aaron Beaver, Wilson, and John Bunch are all the ones that are laps behind. And we have a total of 11 cars on the lead lap. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the iRacing scoring tonight, but we're getting some difference with that. But I'm not sure why he didn't get the wave around on that, since he should have been the one that was out behind the pace car. So we're not really sure. We're going to wait and see. The next time the pace car comes back around, we're going to have a much better, clearer picture of what's going on here. As far as scoring goes, we do apologize. Hey, it's just one of those things, Joe. Nothing we can do about it. We're just given the information. We're as good as the information that is given to us.
Oh, we're better than that, Jeff. You know that.
Yes.
We're better than the information given to us. If nothing else, we'll make it up as it happens. If you didn't hear it from us, it didn't happen. Let's put it that way.
Precisely. All right.
So R.J. Williams will restart back in position number 1, a place he has been quite friendly with all night. Ryan Stewart, still on those old tires, will start on his outside. Alex Reno, it looks like Eric O'Neill will now be position number 4. Jason Gett, Josh Jones, Sherry Birch, and Jeff Coburn and John Borst will go all the way back to positions 8 and 9 after coming down for new tires and more fuel in their cars. With R.J. Williams, Ryan Stewart, and company on scuffs, you've got worked cars now who only came down the last time by, not this current one. So it's going to be interesting to see. You have a whole range of tires now out there trying to figure out what to work. This could be the stop that defines the rest of the race.
Well, I do want to say hello to my father. He's watching the race right now. And he brings up a good point. He said, why can't we have an OCRP pace car? I think that'd be something cool if iRacing could give you the tools where you can make your own personalized pace car for your leagues. I think that'd be pretty cool, actually. But regardless, the biggest thing that I'm noticing here, outside of all the racing we've seen, has been the weather. It has been crazy. We've seen, cloud cover come in. We saw the track temperature drop, and then all those clouds moved out. We're back completely under the sun, and we've only got a total of 28 laps to go. As of right now, we've had 6 cautions tonight, and we expected quite a few cautions. We said that in the pre-race, but laps are winding down, and the sun's out. Ready to go back racing here.
Speaking of Papa Favignano, did you hear he got a new sponsor?
No, I did not.
The Joe Cortez Show. He's going to sponsor him in his next race, in his next iRacing race here at the OCRP League.
Oh, very nice. Well, congratulations.
Just in case you're wondering. Yeah, we just signed him in Twitch tonight.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there you go. But, yeah, customized pace cars, iRacing, come on. Let's do it.
Make it happen.
You could make it happen for, a private league or a private race. You could have the pace car textures load in that way, perhaps. I know Trading Paints had a update, so everybody's on newer stuff there. And actually tonight, we have a lot of new paint schemes, and that's all brought to you by Trading Paints. That's a free service that allows you to upload your own paints you can make. They have a pro version of it where you can pay, and you have multiple scheme management you can do and all that stuff. We're not sponsored by them. It's just that's how you're seeing all these cool paint schemes, and we always want to say a big thanks to them for making that possible. We have the lights out on the pace car, and we're getting ready to restart this one.
That being said, if Trading Paints wants to throw us money, we're not going to turn it down. Just making that very clear.
Yeah,
going to the field one more time. No, of course we're not going to turn it down. Going to the field one more time. RJ Williams, Ryan Stewart, row number 1. Alex Reno, Eric O'Neill, row number 2. Jason Kent, Josh Jones, row number 3. Jeremy Birch, Jeff Corbin, row number 4. And John Borst and Wes Graham, after getting new tires and fuel, they will start on the back of the top 10, still on the lead lap. All eyes on RJ Williams. Again, he won at Auto Club Speedway. This track's identical twin. Can he do it again? Can he make it 2 for 2 on these Penske D ovals?
Well, we're going to ride on board with him on this restart, looking at the rear, and you can see, just listen to the amount of RPM we see on these drivers on these restarts here. A lot of damage to that 3 car of Jones as we get ready to start.
In the Geico restart zone, we're going to go quiet for a second so you can hear just what he's going to do on the restart and make it in turns 1 and 2. Have a listen. Good steering and throttle management, that's what it takes to run that turn very cleanly and very clear. RJ Williams continues to hold the lead into turns 3 and 4, but Ryan Stewart and Alex Reno, they're getting hungry. They feel like they've got a chance to win it. If they can line up, they could catch up back to leader very quickly.
This is a driver we haven't talked about a whole lot, but I think he's just been being very patient tonight. That's the 22 of Reno, waiting to get that track position. He's one of those drivers that has definitely got speed here, and he's making a move for the lead right now on the 21 of Williams.
Screaming Reno wants a position. Williams does not want to give it away. Which Ford Mustang will have it when they come off the backstretch? It looks like advantage Williams, who's getting the push now from the 12 as the 37 now goes around. 37 gets clipped. Eric O'Neill, he's going to drop back through the field. No caution yet.
No caution. He gets to going straight again, but the fire is all the way out front, and that is RJ Williams pulling away from the 22. But wow, you've got guys on older stuff back there in the 12 car, and he's able to hang in there with the rest of them.
The 12 and 22 at this point need to line up. They need to work together to challenge the 21 of Williams. He's already shown he has the experience, the knowledge, and the leadership to make this work. As long as the 22 and 12 fight amongst each other on that behind him, on the back row for position, it gives a great advantage to Williams in order to pick up this win.
And what a move that was by the 12 of Stewart on older stuff. He had that draft on the 22, and he's decided to make a move for it. But the 22 has the advantage because he's got the 21 out front, which is really, really, really strong right now. 3 cars have broken away from the main pack.
Main packs need to work together to try to get the draft going. They only have about 22 laps or so left in this race. If they want to make a move, if they want to have their names called in victory lane, they need to do it sooner rather than later. Williams still out front, and look who's joined the group. Wes the Mess in the mix as well, looking for position number 1.
Almost a little contact there with the 21 and 22 car. Alex Reno not backing down, keeping his position as he tries to get around the 21. Here comes the 88 of Graham.
Graham now in third. He wants position number 2. Going to try to go around Alex Reno in the inside. Back to the box, flying diamond formation. Move to the box formation. All benefits RJ Williams, but Wes Graham now has his tail, and he wants to make some moves happen.
And what an incredible drive by the 22 of Reno. One of the underdogs in this league. Absolutely love him. He is one of my moderators on my Twitch chat. It's always good to see him doing well here in OCRP. He started out in the very beginning and has driven every single car, learning iRacing as he's come along, and he's out front battling with some of the best drivers in the league.
And if he can get around the 21, he could have a chance to win this race, scoring lap number 60, this time by 21 left to go. It is going to be Ryan Stewart in the mix, Alex Reno in the mix. RJ Williams continues to lead, but we've seen Alex Reno get in front of him. If he can get help from the 12 or the 88, he could take the lead. It's just a matter of time.
Nice side drafting by the 22 of Reno. He's trying to get around the 21. It looks like the 12 of Stewart and the 88 of Graham are just backing off and letting this unfold instead of getting in a single file lane. But this is nonstop between these two drivers out front.
Absolutely nonstop. They know they cannot lift a finger. They cannot lift an inch if they want to walk away with this win. Reno doing everything he can to stay on that right side door of RJ Williams. Williams doing everything he can to stay ahead. Nobody giving a push to the 22, as it looks like Ryan Stewart and Wes Graham are fighting for a position for their own. John Borst now enters the mix. A new challenger has appeared.
Yeah, and it looks like all this side-by-side racing we've seen out front has created a ripple effect. All the other drivers that were lagging behind in the gap, it's completely been closed. Everybody is now catching the leaders because of all this racing between first, second, third, and fourth. But one thing I can say about the 22 is he's driving his own race. He's racing his own line. He's not jumping around. He's not mirror driving as much as the 21 is.
Oh, the 21's absolutely mirror driving right now. He is doing everything he can, knowing the 22 and the 88 are both imminent threats to take away his lead. If he makes one mistake, it could mean the difference between checkers and wreckers. And yes, even though he does have 3 quick repairs left, if he burns one now, he'll be at the back of the field. And with 19 laps left, he will have a very hard time getting back up front and having an opportunity to win this race.
Here comes the 88 of Wes Graham trying to make a move on the 22. The 22 going to give him a little bit of room there, but that's one thing that I've seen from most of the fans that watch this series is they've said the 22 just isn't aggressive enough. However, I can say this, what we've seen tonight is anything but. He has been pushing himself up there to the front, and he's not backing down and letting these guys run him over.
RJ Williams now playing both lines of the field as the 88 gives him a tap. Tries to get him to get on the line so he can take away the lead. Williams is not shaking that easy. He will stay up front as he still tries to hold back the 88 and the 22. Behind them, Ryan Stewart and John Borst Company trying to line up with the drivers they want to help. The 12 trying to line up behind Wes the Mess. The 86 of John Borst trying to help Screaming Reno. No, nothing for either of these drivers as the 88 now swoops in trying to take the lead.
Contact!
Around. Slide job.
Wow, what a great recovery that was. Wow. The 22 of Reno got completely sideways and saves the car 100% after contact from the 12. He's going to lose a lot of positions, but wow, what a drive.
Somebody clip that.
Somebody's got to clip that. Yes. What an incredible save by the 22 of Reno. Wow. We want to see that again, but we just can't break away right now from the racing that's going on, and we are running out of time here out in the front. That is RJ Williams and Graham. Out behind them, you've got a gap back to Borst now.
Somebody on chat will clip that, and you'll be able to see the replay that over and over again as Graham now trying to stay in the tire lines of the 21 of Williams, forcing him to make a mistake, giving him the open door to get around and pick up his 3rd win of the season. But time has not run out. You have John Borst leading the second group with 16 laps left to go. Behind him, Ryan Stewart, Alex Reno, Scott Barkman. All 4 drivers have been fast tonight. How quickly can they line up in order to challenge for the win?
Right on board with Reno right now as he is recovering from that save and trying to get his head back into the game. Everybody is getting into single file lane right now, trying to catch those leaders, and nobody out front is making a move, which is making this very difficult for these guys.
15 laps left to go at this juncture. No changes up front. RJ Williams, Wes Graham, 1 and 2. John Borst now leading the second draft. If anyone's going to catch him, he's probably got the best odds to do it. Newer tires, more fuel. He can push that car harder than he needs to as Stewart, Reno, and Barkman all back together by themselves. Right now, the race between them, R.J. Williams and Wes Graham, not hardly a paper slice between them, as John Borst has to make up 1.3 seconds of time on the track.
What do you think, Joe? After everybody saying that Alex is the nice guy, it looks like he's definitely showing that isn't the case today, and he is pushing right up next to the door of the 12, and he's not backing down.
He's hungry. He saw the front. He had an opportunity to win this, and he does not want to take these last 14 laps for granted. He absolutely wants to win this race. The question is, will everyone else rally around him and help him make that happen? With 1.7 seconds from the leaders, it's going to be difficult, but not impossible.
Not impossible, but the 2-car breakaway out front still continues, and it's about a second and a half back to Borst back there from the lead. And behind them, well, that's where everybody's hanging out. But, I mean, right now you've only got these 2 cars out front, and the only thing that's going to make them be able to reel them in is going to be these 2 drivers out front battling side by side, and they're just not doing it.
No, you know Wes Graham is saving it for the last couple laps. He does not want to give R.J. Williams the opportunity to cross him over and ultimately get him up front to give him the win. He does not want to do that. He wants to force R.J. Williams' hand at the last second, force him to use those Ray Bestos brakes in order to save the car or keep it moving behind him to give Graham the time he needs to win this race. We only have 12 laps to go at this juncture. John Borst is picking up time, but does he have enough time to catch up to your 2 leaders?
Time is running out. It's going to be 70 laps when we get back here, so it'll be 10 to go when we get back to the line here. And 10 laps at Michigan, well, anything can happen. You know, these guys are on older tires now, and they're starting to get to the point where we might have a yellow come at the end of these races. We've seen that happen many times on these larger tracks because of the speed and being on older stuff. It all takes is, you know, one mess up, you get in the wall and you spin around and the caution comes out. That would change up this entire race, but that whole bobble between the 22 and the 12 has created this huge breakaway out front.
It has, and it could mean the race between, it could decide the race between R.J. Williams and Wes Graham. With nobody around them, they need a caution flag at this juncture. Scott Barkman, Ryan Stewart, Alexander Reno, they are losing time in that drag. The only one catching up is John Borst. Last time around, he was 9/10 of a second behind those 2 drivers. This time around, he's probably going to get a little bit of time, but he needs a caution flag. 10 laps to go. They need help if they want to get back in this race.
John Borst was about a second behind the last time by. Now he has increased that gap, and he is now, or decreased it. He's down to 7/10 now. He's getting closer, and he's definitely reeling them in.
He's reeling them in, but can he do it in 10 laps? That is the $64,000 question at play right now. R.J. Williams and Wes Graham, they've got a stranglehold. It is their race to lose. Will a caution flag come out and change the perspective of this race? Will we get a green, white, checker caution? All of those questions will be answered in 9 laps.
And it's going to come down to the very last few laps before we see the 88 make that move on the 21 of Williams. We know that he's been practicing it this entire race. We know he can make the pass. We know anybody can if they just time it out right. However, that back and forth is going to really slow them down, and I think they both know that right now, and that's why they're running single file.
They are running, and the other reason why they're running single file is because they want to force the other guy to make a move at the last minute. They don't want to give each other the opportunity to play leapfrog back and forth for the next 7 laps. They want to simply go back and forth. They don't want to go back and forth. They want to go get the lead and hold on to it for the rest of the race. That's what these 2 drivers are doing now. That's why if Wes Graham is going to make a move, it probably won't be until lap 76 or 77 when he thinks he can keep the 21 behind him the rest of the way around.
And that's exactly what's happened. Now John Borst has knocked that down to 0.5 of a second. He is almost to the back bumper of Wes Graham, and he's running out of time, but I think he's actually going to catch him. It looks like if he's trending towards the front, he'll be able to catch them. If he's going to be part of this, the ending party, we don't know.
That again. I don't know that he will. I don't know that he has enough time to catch them. 5/10 is a lot closer than he was, but will he catch them in enough time to have an impact on this race? And then the question is, who is he going to push? Who is he going to try to work with to either get a better position or steal the win? Wes Graham, he's had a long-standing rivalry with Wes Graham all season long. Even going back to last season, those two have always been fighting tooth and nail for wins. Will he help Wes Graham, or will he try to get behind R.J. Williams and steal second? Well, 6 laps to go, and it's still a three-man race.
And you can see the difference there. Graham is dropping out of the throttle a lot earlier, but Williams is not backing down. We just listened right there. It sounded like he was pretty much flat-footing it all the way through the corner. And we're going to ride on board with Graham next, and we're going to see if we can hear a difference in how he's driving.
Riding on board with him, you do see an absolute difference. He is saving it. He is saving his tires. He's saving his gas, knowing at 5 laps to go, he can't win the race. He can't win the drag race. He can win a battle, but he can't win a war. Give him 2 more laps. Give him 2 more laps, and you're going to start seeing him get more aggressive on that back bumper of the Ray Bestis Ford Mustang. You're going to see him start challenging him, maybe even doing a little pushing and shoving in order to try to get him to win. But he knows he cannot do it right now, because if he does, he'll open up the door for Williams to get the crossover and get the win. He can do it, and he can do it again if Wes Graham isn't careful.
And 5 laps to go before, when we get to the line, they are running out of time. But one thing is for certain, they are catching 2 cars in front of them. They are going to be lapped cars if they get to them. And that's going to be, that could create a bit of a problem here for the 21. He's going to have to utilize traffic in front of him, and he's going to have to mirror drive behind him. And that's good news for Borst. That's increased that. But now he's starting to fall off again, getting closer to about a second back from Williams.
4 laps to go, 3.5. Now they hit the back stretch, and Wes Graham still sitting there like a snake in the grass. He's just watching him like a cobra watches his prey. You see him starting to make the move now. He's got to do it now. He's got to make the move in the next lap if he wants to try to win this race. R.J. Williams, we know he can win this race as he gets around the 3 of Josh Jones. We know he's good at these Penske T ovals. The question is, can he make it 2 for 2 this season? And so far, all signs point to yes.
Oh, contact between the 21 and the 55. The caution comes out. That's going to change this entire race. All because the 21 misjudged and got into the lapped car of Bunch. Unbelievable.
I know driving 80 laps around this 2-mile oval is exhausting. 160 miles is exhausting for anybody, but you cannot make a gross misjudgment like that. That critical error could cost him the race, especially when you see the lineup of drivers he's got to contend with in a green-white checkered finish.
It looks like he thought, I don't know, it looked like he thought he was going to get around him, or he thought he was going to move up any further, but I mean, he just drilled right into the back end of him there, and that's going to create some damage on the right front of his race car. We're going to see what happens here, if these guys are going to come down pit road, or what's going to happen here. But wow, that changed up everything. All he had to do was just keep it around that guy, and that would have been a guarantee checkered finish.
Here's what I think happened. Looking back at the tape, I'm just running it back and forth. I feel like the 55 started his turn early, and the 21 was expecting him to go high. When he didn't go high, that's when he clipped him. That's when you saw him give him the punt, and that's what's going to brought out the yellow flag. We will extend for a green-white checkered finish, but wow, you can't, again, Jeff, R.J. Williams, incredible driver, experienced driver, but you can't make a misjudgment like that. You just can't if you want to expect to win the race.
Absolutely, and that's what happened. You know, you start getting content with how you're driving around the track. You get used to it, and you make a mistake, and that's perfectly fine. You know, that does happen, but he's lucky. It could have been way worse than it actually was, and it could have been almost a little bit of a net code issue, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of damage on the right front of that 21.
I'm not seeing a lot of damage on either. Minimal at best. He's not gonna He's not going to need a quick repair, let's put it that way, but it is going to come down to the attention of his crew. Get 4 new tires and a full tank of fuel. Wes Graham is down there now. Scott Barkman, John Borst, Alex Reno, the attention of his crew. Jason Kent now limping in. Jeremy Birch. They fired Andrew on the pit crew, so I know he'll have a good stop this time and not get the weird tires. Coming off pit road, RJ Williams holds the lead. Wes Graham is in second. John Borst third, and Scott Barkman fourth. If I am RJ Williams right now, those are the last 3 guys I want to see in my rearview mirror.
Absolutely, and we're going to be watching the 12 of Stewart. He had a good stop. He's going to be restarting back in 5th. It's anybody's race. You know, we've seen what's happened with these green, white checkered finishes, and it's mayhem. So it's anybody's guess as to who can manage all the chaos out front on these restarts, and that's who is going to be able to win this race. But you have guys that are staying out in front. They're just there to get their laps back. That's all that is. That's Wilson and Kellert. They are both, they're scored on the lead lap right now, but I think what's happening, Joe, is we're getting the score on them before it actually happens on the wave around. I think that's what's happening here.
iRacing is so amazed by the race we watched tonight, it's breaking itself.
And we're back under clouds again.
Oh boy, what a ridiculous race we've had tonight. A lot of caution flags, a lot of crazy weather affecting it, and now a green-white checkered finish. You could not plan a better race if we sat down and wrote the plot for this one. That's how crazy this has been.
Absolutely, and I'd be interested to hear what Bunch thought of that whole incident, just kind of minding his own business and getting around. And, that's something that I've seen a lot in sim racing is you have guys that'll be keying up on the mic saying, hey, which lane you going to be running? Move out of my way because I'm the leader. This is a classic example of no matter what, it is down to you as the leader to pass that guy, to put him a lap down. There's no reason for him to give you the track, but you need to make the decision. And if Williams would have just dropped down to, say, the bottom of the track or something to get around him, it wouldn't have been a problem. But just, that mindset of, getting into your groove and running your line, he cut it really close to that driver, and that's what happens, That's the mistake that happened, and that changed up this entire race.
That is going to change this race and how it finishes, that is for sure. RJ Williams was basically cruising to a victory, to an easy win. He held off. He put a masterclass on holding off Wes Graham and company in order to get that position number 1. As you see the 21 now trying to heat up those tires, trying to clean them off so that he doesn't spin them when he goes back to green flag racing. Now he's got a whole new situation to contend with. He's got a 2-lap dash for the cash with a lot of talent behind him, a lot of talent hungry to pick up that win. This is going to be arguably the most interesting 2 laps we'll see all season long.
This definitely is. The lights are off on the pace car, but let's talk about the green-white checker really fast. Yes, they are in iRacing after a very long time. They have been implemented, and we will have 3 attempts at that tonight as these drivers try to get it done at Michigan. The drivers to watch on this restart, well, that's going to be the 88 of Graham. That's going to be the 86 of Borst right there in third. He's in a great spot for this restart. But the 21 of Williams has been doing a fantastic job of keeping everybody in check and presenting himself the lead.
Jeff, you say those are the 2 drivers to watch. I think literally every driver now behind the 21 of RJ Williams is the driver to watch. Any one of those guys can win the race, and they're all on identical stuff. Full tires, full fuel. These guys have everything they need to give an all-star finish, and I think it really could be anyone's race.
One driver that is going to absolutely send it down into 1 is going to be the 19 of Barkman. Barkman's been fast all day. He's one to really, really watch on this. I think he has what it takes to win this race.
We'll find out here as the pace car is about to get the heck out of the way.
I'm excited, Joe.
I'm thrilled too. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what's going to happen these next 4 miles here at Michigan International Speedway, hidden among the Irish hills of Brooklyn, Michigan. These guys are getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It will be on the front row. RJ Williams, Wes Graham, and Williams wastes no time in the Geico restart zone. He hits the hammer. He's back to green flag racing. And now Wes Graham is without a dance partner on the field.
And we're watching the 86 of Boris getting up next to that left-hand door of the 88 to side draft. And now he's all over the back bumper of the 21.
21 slams the door shut on the 86's run, so John Boris not able to pick up the position. RJ Williams playing both lines, going high, going low. He will go low into the turn, opening the door for Wes Graham in 3.
Here comes the 86 of Boris looking the inside, making the 21 drive the way that he wants him to. He's mirror driving that 21. Whoa, across the nose of the 19 of Barkman was the 86 of Boris and almost caused the spin there. Here comes a 88 of Graham to the outside of the 21.
White flag now. Next flag will end the race as the 12 of Ryan Stewart wants to get in on the action. 21, 88 side by side. Williams fighting off Graham. Advantage Graham on the outside.
Here comes the 21. He's trying to get a side draft on the 88. He's not able to get it done. He's going to have to drop back in line. And now he has the 86 to fight with.
Into turns 3 and 4. Wes Graham now fighting with RJ Williams, John Boris. Wes Graham may be able to steal this. Coming off of turn number 4. Clean run. Nothing the 21 can do. It will be Wes Graham winning his 3rd race at Michigan International Speedway.
Look at that. Graham gets it done here at Michigan. He exercises patience at the end of this one. He could have tried to pass earlier and earlier, but he waited and waited and waited for this final restart to get done. Congratulations to that team. The 88 of Wes Graham showing them how it's done here at Michigan tonight.
Wes Graham came in your points leader after wins at Las Vegas and Chicagoland. And tonight's win, I don't know that it was planned or intentional, but after showing patience leading into those last 2 laps into the green-white checkered finish, Wes Graham has proven why he is a top-tier driver here in the OCRP iRacing League. And arguably, he could be he could be an iRacing World Championship Series driver, whatever they call it now. I think he had the talent. If he wanted to, he could race with the big boys on Tuesday nights.
He definitely does. And one thing about Graham is he's a seasoned iRacer, but he's also very laid back, has fun on his streams. He does streams on his Twitch channel of West the Mess 88. As you see right there, twitch.tv West the Mess 88. If you want to follow along with him on his races on Thursdays, that is you can ride along with him and watch the race from there. But he's always laid back, having a beer, or just having some fun, and that's what it's all about in sim racing. But no question, he has talent. After the ceremonies here are complete.
I guess I was muted.
Yeah, that's all right. We're going to head down and we'll catch up with the drivers tonight and talk with them and see what they thought of the ending of this particular race. But the one to watch for this entire championship is the 88. We saw that last season.
That I'm going to go into the wall 3 wide and then would have come down and wrecked the field, so I didn't want to do that.
No, I'm not. I wasn't really mad. I was just trying to prevent something from happening. So it was about to.
BDG.
Well, you were doing good and you started drifting down, so I thought I'd let you know where I was at.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I was trying to save tires there.
We are catching up in here to the post-race show here, and we're going to talk with Wes in just a few moments, but the driver to really talk to here tonight is the 21 of RJ Williams. RJ, take us through that last restart and what happened.
Well, I mean, I pretty much brought that on myself. Shouldn't have should have left a little bit more room. I thought I pulled down enough, but looking at the replay there, I mean, I just creamed him right there in the ass end, getting into one. So that's definitely my fault. So that's self-inflicted. So that's pretty much what's going to happen there at the end, I figured.
And was that just a matter of misjudgment, of just getting into your groove, about getting around the 55 a bunch?
Well, in all honesty, I felt like I was killing the West off of the corners there. He'd eat me up a little bit getting in, but I really felt like I had something for him coming off the corner, and I was trying my best to try to get away from him just a little bit, try to use that draft, and kind of used it a little bit too much, and cost me the race.
I got you. We appreciate you talking with us, and we're going to talk to John Borst next. Mr. Borst, what happened there at the end, and what did you think of how the package handled for you all night?
Oh, I absolutely still hate this car, but it's so hard to race, guys. I mean, we're artificially so packed together, and then when the tires wear out, we just ride around. I think I was faster than the two in front of me on that long run, but as soon as I got to 7/10, the thing just stalled right out. And it's just not my kind of racing. I prefer this car on tracks, a mile and a half shorter than this one, but we'll go into next week and see what we can do.
Indeed, and we saw the change in the track quite a few times tonight. We saw, the whole track was completely under cloud cover, and then it would open back up, and it would be under sun. We saw track temperatures ranging from 124 down to 121. Did that make any difference?
Maybe a little bit to keep us packed up a little longer, but nah, not really. There's not a ton of fall off in this thing.
All right, fantastic. Well, I'm going to send it over to Joe. And, Joe, you are going to catch up with our winner, and that is the 88 of Wes Graham.
For the third time this season, Wes the Mess, Wes Graham back in Gatorade victory lane. And before we get to the green-white checkered, I just want to know, 3 laps to go, if the 21 didn't punt the 55 out of the way, what was your strategy to try to win the race with 3 to go?
I honestly had nothing for him. I was just sitting back there. I was going to try to, because I could get a good run with the draft down the straights, but unless I, bonsai'd the corner, it won't going to happen, and I ain't going to try to wreck nobody for a race win. So RJ drove a great race. I don't know. I don't know how that actually happened. I'm flabbergasted. That one's gonna puzzle me for a couple of days.
Walk us through that last lap. You come around turn 4. You get the lead. You pick it up off RJ. What happens then? What's in your head, and how much rear view mirror are you driving around those 2 miles?
The first thing that came through my head was how, because he's on the bottom, and he has the shorter way around it. And I mean, I when my spotter said clear, I was like, I can't believe that. So I was just like, go throw it in as low as you can into 3 and hope it sticks, because the tires still hadn't built up any pressure yet. So you still slide pretty good getting into corners. And I was just like, okay, I guess we got it. So that was about it.
3rd win this season, and you still got plenty of racing to go. At what point are you looking to lock down your 2nd consecutive championship?
I'm not. I'm hoping we battle all the way out to the last race. It's a good thing that Talladega's not the last race, but we got Bristol next week. That's what we're focused on right now. I love that place. It's going to be fun trying to throw these big behemoths through the corners, and I'm looking forward to racing everybody next week. That's where the focus is.
For the 3rd time this season, Wes Graham, your winner here at Michigan International Speedway. Jeff, kick it back over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up with Alex Reno in the 22. Definitely the dark horse of this race tonight, Alex. What do you think? That most of the fans have been saying that you are always too nice, or you're not giving up enough, or you give up too much of the track. What do you think of that compared to your performance tonight here at the track?
Yeah, I think I was way more aggressive. We race this track actually in our second league that I run in, the K&N cars, and I think that really helped. And I was able to just, I don't know, take out some aggression tonight, so to speak, and just push harder than I have before.
That's the type of racing we like to see, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And trying to race RJ up there, I couldn't clear him, but it was nice being up front and having a.
We cut out a little bit there right at the end of that sentence. But one thing we did want to definitely talk to you about was that save, that magical save when you had the 12 get into you. Take us through that.
Honestly, I think it's just a instinct now. I just started spinning
save.
and
that was an
a natural,
absolutely insane save.
yeah, I got the clip of that and it's like, wow, I did that. But I think it's almost an instinct now. I just spun or started spinning and just recovered.
Well, there you have it. That's the 22 of Reno, and he is showing a lot more aggression out there on the track, and I think everybody really likes to see that. And he's going to be able to be something to watch next week. I'm going to bring it back to you, Joe, and whoever you caught up with.
We went down to the Dumbler Mufflin car of number 1 of Civ Ryan, the 12 machine. And Ryan, I just got to ask you, buddy, how heartbreaking was it to be looking at the race that closely and watch it just slip away?
No, I was okay. I've been racing for like a month, so I was just hoping for a clean race, and I got into Alex there because I got super tight on that corner. I felt really bad, but I think I was keying up on the mic as I was going into him. Just like I was like, "Look out, Alex! Here I come! Brace for it, bud." That was a hell of a save, and luckily we didn't wreck the field. And thanks to the guys behind us for slowing down, and because I think they heard all the commotion on the radio there. So, but no, it was good. I'm just happy for I was able to finish the race. And that was a hell of a race. I had so much fun. A lot of back and forth up front. Everybody was racing pretty cleanly. So I expected a disaster out there tonight, and it was the opposite.
Take us back to lap 63. When you had that restart, you were up front, you were in the lead, you chose the outside lane. What happened in the car?
I didn't go right on green. I didn't want to do one of those starts where you go ahead of the green flag, and I'm old apparently, and my reflexes aren't as good because it was like green, and then I was like, oh, now it's time, and yeah, I think I bunched up the field there. So apologies again, guys.
6 races left in the season. What track are you excited for to go to in the remainder of this season?
Talladega, baby. I love the shit show of a super speedway. I love that it just makes everyone salty and it's just a crapshoot. Because then we actually have a chance against Wes. Because it's just a shit show. It's a roll of the dice. I love those. I love and hate them.
Civ Ryan looking to give away some Valentine's Day love when we go to Talladega Super Speedway week 12. Jeff, you got anyone else, or are we gonna let them go to the meeting?
We're gonna let them get their meeting on. We're gonna listen in. We'll we appreciate all you guys. Fantastic race tonight. Just a lot of fun to call. It was just a lot of fun to watch.
Alrighty, well, I kind of said my piece already, guys. Again, Reno, I'm sorry about that, buddy. And that was a hell of a save. And in that one that I got into the wall there, I don't know who it took out, but apologies for that. But good racing, everybody. Really proud of this league and how far it's come. And you guys were showing some good restraint out there and good judgment calls. And shout out to 55 for moving on the apron there when the whole pack was coming around. Good job, man. That's the type of racing and shit we like to see. A lot of courtesy. So good job to everybody and congrats to Wes. So we'll go. Let's go up the list. No, do I usually? Let's go down the list. I usually go up the list. Let's go down the list. Jeremy.
It was a lot of fun. There were some moments of really good racing out there. Not sure what I think about the tires, the way the cars are acting and everything, but I don't know. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time on a couple occasions, but I enjoyed racing with most of you. I'll say that. See you all next week.
I really liked your engine RPM impression on the radio. That was pretty funny, Jeremy. Josh. Yeah, there it is.
Had a lot of fun in the beginning, and had a really fast car, and I was staying with the front of the pack. And after about lap 40, things just went to shit. 3 wide does not work on this track at all, especially in the corners. And I got a little high up into Jason, and then we kind of just bounced off of each other, and that was pretty much the end of my race. I mean, I finished it out, but my car was just limping along. But congrats, Wes, and I'm glad to be back after about a month. Had a long move and then long holidays, so I'm glad to see everybody out, and see you next week.
Alrighty, Mr. Reno.
Yeah. So I was really kind of impressed with myself, to be honest, that I turned up the aggression factor that I needed to do a lot sooner. And yeah, had a lot of fun racing up there at the front. I kind of had some stream issues earlier, but I didn't stream it all tonight. Just focused on iRacing, and yeah, well, it was great race by everybody, and lots of close, tight knit pack racing. That it's going to be a huge difference to next week. That's for sure.
Alrighty, Mr. Jason.
Yeah, I had a blast, or just fun, I guess. I mean, I wasn't salty or anything. I had a good time. I took pole. I thought I was going to hold on to that, and I didn't know how far up RJ was on me, and I feathered the gas, and that's what got me loose, and ended up. I tried to save it, kept going up closer toward the wall, kept trying to save it, and I ended up in the John Borse. So I am super apologetic. I know these things happen, though. You guys said that, so thanks for the kind words and the words of encouragement. I fought with Tony for P6 there for a bit toward the end, and then the tires were just torn apart, so I ended up I think P9 or something like that. But I had a lot of fun. You guys taught me a lot, so thank you.
Right on, Jason. Good to see you out here again. Also, shout out to everybody for coming out. That was a really good turnout tonight. I don't know, I think what do we have? 15 racers, 16 racers, something like that. That was a great turnout. I just want to skip over Wes. I'm tired of hearing your goddamn winter speeches, Wes. You need to settle down. No, Wes,
Okay.
go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, man.
I just watched Alex's save. That was absolutely amazing. That was just about jaw dropping. I don't know how you saved that car, but it was super fun racing with RJ there pretty much throughout the entire race. Any one of y'all boys can go into any of these official races and kick ass. Y'all have, grown so much over this season for this. I mean, we've had 2 weeks off. We had a little bit of rust out there, but y'all boys put on a hell of a show. I'm honored to share the track with y'all boys week in and week out.
Hey, Wes.
What?
Okay. Sorry, Rita, you wanted to ask Wes something?
Oh, yeah. It's like I honestly don't know how to say that either. It's just kind of a, like I said earlier, just an instinct.
Yeah, it was fantastic, dude.
He's born with it. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Go ahead, Robert.
Going with the theme, that was a shit ton of fun. Good race to come back on. I actually learned a lot too. I felt by the end, got a decent handle on the track for myself. If I just kept not getting caught up in crap. Also, sorry for Scott it looks like I did come up a little bit on that when I flipped, so apologize about that. But really fun race. Awesome job, everyone. And shout out to Jeff for powering through being sick and putting the broadcast on.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you. I still feel like crap,
Joe,
but I'm hanging in there.
Joe, are you sick too? You sound a little sick. Joe, are you sick as well?
I think I just overexerted myself. I had a little too much fun tonight.
Oh, okay. No, shout out to you guys. Thanks again for broadcasting tonight. Let's go down to who's next, John.
Yeah, just two things. RJ, sorry, man. I thought I was high enough. I tried to stay against the wall so you could get by. And Robert, it was fun racing with you at the end. I know it wasn't for position, but it was a great time. Other than that, everything was good. Still learning, still trying. See you next week.
Alrighty. And you had the pit entry of the night. Let me tell you, that was fucking hilarious on my stream. Was that you, John? It was you, wasn't it?
Yes, that was me. Hard on the
Okay.
brakes.
Oh, very hard. Oh yeah, right in the wall.
Very hard, yeah.
Eric
Oh,
O'Neill.
yeah. Gotta do it right.
Definitely disappointing with how I finished. I was running top 5 quality all night, and then my spotter decided to forget how to talk on the damn radio, and then I found Jeff's nose. Other than that, definitely good race. Definitely better than what I expected for being off for 2 weeks. But I can't wait for next week. Hopefully my spotter learns how to talk then.
Alrighty, RJ.
John, I gotta say, no need to apologize to me. That was all my fault. You were far enough up against the wall that you should have been. I was just trying to get way too much right there, just trying to get away from Wes. Good race, guys. It's a lot of fun to run here. Nice, respectful racing out front and all through the pack. Appreciate y'all letting me run with you. I see everybody getting better, and it's a lot of fun, especially from the beginning of practice to the end of the race. There's such a big difference with some of y'all. Good win, Wes. It was a blast racing you all night. Can't wait to do it at Bristol. I'll plan on it. And again, good race, guys.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, there's multiple times people came over the radio after a good green flag run, and we all were just pretty hyped for good racing. And that's what this is all about, man. Just some good racing. It's good racing, RJ. Jeff.
No, I mean, it was a fun race. You know, unfortunately, when Eric caught my nose, it kind of ruined the race for the rest of me because I dropped back, 20 seconds, whatever it was. So I just, I'll keep saying next week, but we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having patience with no race control this week, guys. Ricardo is still on the holidays, so he's gonna be back next week. I talked to him today, so he'll be back next week. So we'll have race control. So, but thanks for just dealing with because there was a few cautions that should have been thrown that weren't for sure. Scott.
Yeah, no, it was a fun race, just like everybody else said. Robert, don't worry about that, man. It happens, dude. And Ryan and Alex. So I just watched the replay. I thought you guys were nose to tail, or I would have never made it 3 wide like that. But anyways, fun race. Looking forward to next week.
No, all good, man. It was racing. It was just more of one of us had to make a judgment call to back off. So, as Joe says, patience is the better part of valor. So that's what I chose there. Next is Tony.
Yep. So it was another race. Was feeling good, looking good until that restart got turned around there, and then ended up not being able to beat the pace car out, and that was the end of it for me. Was up there with the other guys that were on the same lap, but somebody got in the wall and we had to all check up. And the other 2 guys that were on the same lap as me were in front of the slowdown. I was behind it, so there was no chance to catch back up and get near the lucky dog. So that was the end of the night for me.
Yeah, everybody has those races. I know I had that at Iowa. I was like 10 laps down, so it happens. John.
The race started out pretty rough with Jason sitting in my lap on the first lap, but it happens. It was a long race, and we settled down pretty good towards the middle, which was nice. And good God, am I ready for a track where I can use all the pedals again? I hate this.
And if I can cut in real quick, Ryan, the line is discretion is the better part of valor. Discretion.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm saying patience is the better part of valor. Okay, that's my line now. That's mine. I own it. Okay, that will be it, I guess, for the Racers meeting. We'll see you guys next week at Bristol. And for having 2 weeks off, that was a hell of a race, guys. The talking holler chat before was like, this is going to be a shit show. Even my dog is fucking barking. He's excited because it was a good race. Sorry for that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And if anybody wants to take over doing the Open League races, just let me know. I'll make you admin over there and you guys can run those races, but I'm not going to do them anymore.
All right, guys.
Well, see you later.
All right, take care of yourselves. It was a lot of fun.
Great.
That is going to do it for us here tonight. What an incredible finish here in Michigan. You heard from the drivers. It was a lot of fun to watch. We can all agree with that. But next week is Bristol, and we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.